Today I will be comparing a high-end fingerboard to a tech deck. Hey, what is up? I have a few tech decks here and then a proper fingerboard. And right off the bat, they're pretty similar. So up close, it's quite obvious which one is the better fingerboard. This is a tech deck. It even has a tech deck sticker saying that, so you know. So this is a tech deck, and then this is a proper fingerboard. But these are still pretty much the same thing. One is lower end and one is higher end. And I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about the two. So first up, let's talk about the board size. This board is quite a bit wider than your standard tech deck. But something you can actually do is find amongst these smaller ones a little bit of a bigger board, and this is actually a little bit more of a higher end board than this, but it's the exact same price and you can get it in the same section. And you can just buy a tech deck in Walmart, it's that simple. But make sure you look for the two boards. One will be wider, one will be a little bit slimmer, and also the wider board has rubber bushing. And if you do not know what a bushing is, this is it. This little rubber piece that sits in here, and it allows the trucks to move like this. These are homemade bushings that I put in this board, but it's pretty much the same thing as if you were to find it with this. And on your same priced board, but smaller, you will find just plastic bushings. These come tight. Your board is not moving anywhere. I also added a grip to this. This is just some very low grit sandpaper. And just look at the difference. There's a lot more flex to this. And compared to the Pro fingerboard, it's a lot better. So make sure you know what you're looking for. So on this wooden board, you can see the different layers, whereas these are just made out of plastic. So that's the difference between the board. Now let's talk about the trucks. So the trucks that I have on my board right now are the fire trucks. You can get them off flat price for $15, which is a reasonable price. And these trucks come with decent bushings. I would say they're that kind of just medium level bushings. They're not too high end, but they're definitely a lot higher end than just plastic. And then these are the gold trucks, and everything threads on very nice. These come with some very nice nuts that go on the end. They screw on, don't cross thread. Whenever you get a tech deck and you take the wheels off and screw it back on, sometimes it cross threads and it is very annoying because then it's kind of wrecked. And these are the tech deck trucks. And right away you see there's a couple things wrong with them. You see there's a little crease along the side, and that's just a little bit of an imperfection in the truck. These also come with rock hide bushings made out of solid plastic, so that's definitely not good if you want to get into proper fingerboarding. And I highly recommend, if you want to get into fingerboarding but you only have a tech deck, I highly recommend watching my other video of how to make rubber bushings out of a bicycle tube. It is very simple, it doesn't take very long to do, and it'll make your trucks a lot better. So go watch that video if you're interested in that. Now let's talk about wheels. So tech deck wheels are not very high quality. They don't have any bearings in them, and they're very loose. They wobble a lot, and if you want to slide your board, it kind of just will kind of skid or just not roll very far. They're not good wheels. That's just it. These are just plastic, and plastic wheels on metal is not the best combination. But if you look at these fingerboard wheels, you see that little metal piece in there. That is a bearing. And if I compare the wheels on my fingerboard, which are high quality bearing wheels, with a tech deck, so that was the difference from tech deck wheels and high quality bearing wheels. So those are the main components on a fingerboard and a tech deck. But now let's talk about grip tape. So this is the classic grip tape that comes on a tech deck. Basically just a fine grit sandpaper, and it honestly doesn't give you too much grip. And I do get why they have this just as sandpaper. It's because it looks like a real skateboard just kind of shrunk down, which is good because I definitely see a lot of people give a tech deck almost as a gift. And if you give this to somebody as just a birthday present or something, they're likely not going to use it as a proper fingerboard. It's just going to be kind of a little toy skateboard. So that's why they have sandpaper on it, but it doesn't take too much to make the sandpaper a lot better. What you can do is you can get a very low grit sandpaper like this, slap it on with some glue, and you are set with a very grippy fingerboard. So that's just a little hack for if you want to improve this. But now let's talk about the Pro fingerboard. So it's actually kind of hard to tell on camera what the difference is, but this is foam. This is very grippy foam. Just to show the grippiness of it, if that is a word. Tech deck just slides right off. But foam grip tape it sticks. And you can even tip this quite a bit steeper before it'll fall off. This is also brand new grip tape. And if you fingerboard, you know that right when you put new grip tape on, it's actually not as grippy as if you use it for a couple weeks. And those are all the differences between a proper fingerboard and a tech deck. Now I'm gonna get some clips and be using both of these. But before I do that, I wanted to say that the main difference that I feel between the two boards like this is the width of the board. This board is nice and wide, whereas this board is kind of skinny, which actually makes it very hard to do very specific tricks. Even just to do an ollie off of something with a tech deck, it makes it hard because your fingers are only on kind of a small little stick. Whereas this fingerboard, this is a 32mm fingerboard across, and that means there's a lot of room for your fingers on this. If you have like really tiny fingers, you might not notice too much of difference, but if you have a little bit of bigger fingers, you will really find that this is a lot better to use. So you can really see with some of those videos that the Pro Fingerboard is a lot better for doing clean tricks. Otherwise, you are still able to do the exact same tricks on a tech deck. It'll just take you way more tries and also be quite a bit more frustrating. But other than that, those are the main differences between a fingerboard and a tech deck. Even though a tech deck is technically considered a fingerboard, a lot of people don't consider it in the fingerboard category. And the last thing I wanted to say is just the price point between the two boards. So a tech deck is around $8 here up in Canada at a Walmart, which is a pretty good price. Whereas this board, I did make the deck for this board, so I'm not really going to count that as too much of a cost. But if you were to get a proper fingerboard deck, that is going to cost you around $40 American. But that is for kind of a high-end fingerboard deck. This is a very high-end fingerboard deck, so I will count it at about $40. These wheels were $45 American. That is very expensive for tiny little plastic pieces with metal inside. And I already said these trucks were $15, so altogether, this board is kind of expensive. You are able to get a lot cheaper boards that are still decent off Amazon that I would recommend. So just do a quick YouTube search on which board you should get off Amazon and do that for your first board if you want to get rid of your tech deck. But those are the differences between a fingerboard and a tech deck. That's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down there so you don't miss out on any new videos coming soon. One video up there, and of course there is another one down there. Social media links are in the description below, and I will see you in my next video.